What if I told you that the endless chase for the perfect relationship, the ideal job, the bigger bank account isn't actually what your brain is seeking? I've spent 30 years studying the human brain, consciousness, and behavior, and I'm about to save you decades of frustration in the next few minutes. We all do this. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I find the right partner. I'll feel successful when I make six figures. I'll finally feel confident when I lose those last 20 pounds. But here's the truth that neuroscience has revealed. Your brain has been programmed to keep you stuck in these loops of seeking, and that programming is creating actual chemical addictions in your body that keep you chasing the wrong things. Every time you achieve something while carrying this programming of not enough, you're actually strengthening the neural pathways that keep you trapped. It's like building a faster car, but keeping the same broken GPS. You'll just reach the wrong destination more efficiently. I discovered this after spending decades achieving everything society told me would make me happy, only to feel more empty with each accomplishment. Your brain doesn't actually want these external things. It's seeking specific chemical states that you can create right now without changing anything in your external world. Your brain is lying to you right now. That thought you're having about not being enough, that's not your authentic voice. That's years of conditioning playing on repeat in your mind. I spent 3 decades of my life believing those same lies, chasing one achievement after another, thinking the next big thing would finally make me feel complete. But here's what I discovered after years of studying the brain, consciousness, and human potential. Everything you're seeking is already within you, encoded in your neural circuitry, waiting to be activated. Think about this. Every morning, millions of people wake up and immediately start running their familiar program of lack, fear, and inadequacy. They check their phones, compare themselves to others, and reinforce the neural pathways that keep them stuck in cycles of seeking external validation. I know because I was one of them. I had degrees, achievements, recognition, but I felt empty inside. Why? Because I was operating from an outdated program in my brain, one that said I needed something outside myself to feel worthy. But here's the fascinating truth that changed everything. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening in your external world and what's happening in your internal world. When you think a thought, your brain releases the same chemicals, whether that thought is about something real or something imagined. This means you have the power right now to create any emotional state you desire without changing a single thing in your external reality. This isn't just positive thinking. This is hardcore neuroscience. Every time you have a thought, you're firing and wiring specific neural circuits in your brain. Every time you feel an emotion, you're conditioning your body to either stay in the past or create a new future. The question is, are you using this power consciously, or are you letting your autopilot programming run your life? In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to share exactly what took me 30 years to understand about breaking free from these mental patterns. I'll show you how to recognize the unconscious programs running your life, how to interrupt them using the latest findings in neuroscience, and most importantly, how to install new programs that align with who you truly want to become. You'll learn why waiting for external circumstances to change is keeping you trapped, and how you can access elevated emotional states right now in this moment using nothing but the power of your own consciousness. This isn't theory. This is practical application of quantum physics and neurobiology that you can start using today to transform your life. Here's something that will transform how you see your life. Time is not linear. It's a construct of the thinking mind. Your brain is designed to be a time machine, constantly traveling between memories of the past and projections of the future. But this time travel comes at a cost. Every time you remember a past event, your brain releases the exact same chemicals it released during the original experience. Think about that. When you recall a painful memory, your body doesn't know it happened years ago. To your nervous system, it's happening right now. This is why so many people stay stuck. They wake up every morning, and within minutes, their thoughts trigger the same emotional chemicals they felt yesterday and the day before and the year before that. Their bodies become addicted to these familiar emotions: worry, stress, anxiety, unworthiness. It's like having a chemical dependency to the past. Your cells literally become addicted to these emotional states. Let me share a profound insight from my research. 95% of who you are by the time you're 35 years old is a set of memorized behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious beliefs, perceptions, and attitudes that function like a computer program. You're literally living the same day over and over, just in different locations with different people. Your brain is so efficient at running these programs that you don't even have to think about them anymore. The problem isn't just that we're creatures of habit, it's that our habits create our future. Every time you think the same thoughts, feel the same feelings, and take the same actions, you're telling your genes to express in the same ways. You're literally signaling your genes to create more of your past. This is why people can exercise and eat right, but still struggle with health issues. Their bodies are still operating on old programs of disease or dysfunction. But here's the liberating truth. The present moment is where all possibilities exist. When you break free from the chains of your past programming, when you stop the automatic thoughts that keep you connected to the past, you create space for something new to emerge. Your brain is designed to reorganize itself based on new experiences and information. This is called neuroplasticity, and it's your ticket to freedom. Right now, in this moment, you have the power to step out of the river of time. You can choose to stop running the same neural programs that have created your past and start installing new ones. The key is understanding that your past is not your future, unless you live by the same thoughts, feelings, and actions that created your past. Your power to change isn't in some distant future, it's right here, in this present moment. Every time you become aware of an automatic thought or emotion, you're literally catching your brain in the act of creating your reality. This awareness is like a spotlight that illuminates the invisible programs running in your neural circuits. The moment you become conscious of these patterns, they begin to lose their power over you. Let me explain the science behind this. Your brain processes 400 billion bits of information every second, but you're only conscious of about 2,000 of those bits. The rest is happening on autopilot beneath your awareness. This means most of your life, your reactions, your emotions, your decisions is being run by unconscious programs. But here's the incredible thing. When you bring your attention to the present moment, you activate your frontal lobe, the part of your brain responsible for conscious choice. Think of your attention like a flashlight in a dark room. Whatever you shine it on becomes illuminated, becomes conscious. When you direct this flashlight of attention to the present moment, instead of letting it wander to past memories or future worries, something remarkable happens in your brain. The neural circuits that keep you connected to your past begin to quiet down. The endless chatter of your thinking mind starts to settle. This is where real change becomes possible. In this present moment awareness, you're no longer at the mercy of your emotional addictions. You're no longer feeding the neural networks that keep you stuck in old patterns. Instead, you're creating space for new neural connections to form. This is why meditation isn't just about relaxation, it's about breaking the habit of being yourself. Your brain is like a record player, constantly playing the same songs of your past. But when you stay present, when you maintain awareness of your thoughts and feelings without getting caught in their story, you lift the needle off that record. In this space of presence, you're no longer reinforcing the same neural pathways that have created your past. You're actually priming your brain for new possibilities. This is what quantum physics tells us. The present moment is where all potential futures exist. When you're truly present, not lost in thoughts of the past or future, you're accessing a field of infinite possibilities. Your consciousness, your awareness becomes like a quantum observer, collapsing waves of possibility into new realities. Let me share something amazing about your brain. Every time you learn something new, you're physically changing its structure. You're not the same person you were 5 minutes ago because your brain has already made new connections based on what you're hearing right now. This is neuroplasticity in action. Your brain's incredible ability to reshape itself based on your experiences, thoughts, and feelings. Think of your brain like a vast network of roads. The thoughts you think most often are like highways, wide, well-traveled paths that your mind automatically takes. These highways were created by repetition. Every time you had the same thought, felt the same emotion, or performed the same action, you pave these neural pathways a little stronger. This is why breaking old habits feels so hard. You're literally trying to redirect traffic from a superhighway to a tiny dirt road. But here's the revolutionary truth. You can build new highways in your brain at any age. Scientists used to believe that once you reached adulthood, your brain was fixed and unchangeable. Now we know that's completely false. Your brain is constantly rebuilding itself, pruning away connections you don't use and strengthening the ones you do. Every single day, you have the power to sculpt your brain through your choices, your thoughts, and your actions. Let me show you how this works in practical terms. When you decide to change a habit, let's say you want to stop automatically reaching for your phone when you feel anxious, you're essentially asking your brain to create a new pathway. The first few times you resist that automatic urge, it feels incredibly difficult. Your brain is screaming at you to take the familiar route, to follow that well-worn highway of habit. But each time you choose a different response, maybe taking 3 deep breaths instead, you're laying down the foundation for a new neural pathway. This is where most people give up. They try something new once or twice, it feels hard, and they conclude this doesn't work, or I can't change. But that's like expecting a dirt path to become a highway overnight. The science shows us it takes about 21 days of consistent practice to start establishing new neural pathways, and around 63 days for these pathways to become automatic, to become your new default response. Here's what's happening in your brain during this process. Every time you make a conscious choice to do something different, you're activating your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain. This activation releases specific neurochemicals that help strengthen new neural connections. At the same time, when you stop reinforcing old patterns, those neural pathways begin to weaken. It's like a forest path that gradually gets overgrown when no one walks on it anymore. But there's an even more fascinating aspect to this process. Your brain doesn't just change in response to physical actions. It changes in response to your thoughts and mental rehearsal too. When you vividly imagine performing a new behavior, you fire many of the same neural circuits as when you actually perform that behavior. This means you can accelerate your brain's rewiring process through focused mental practice. This is why visualization isn't just positive thinking, it's a powerful tool for neural reconstruction. When you combine clear intention with elevated emotion, when you mentally rehearse your new desired states with real feeling, you're literally reshaping your brain's neural architecture. You're installing new software in your brain's hardware, creating new pathways that will eventually become your default programming. What if I told you that your thoughts aren't just abstract concepts floating in your mind? They're actual energy patterns that influence the physical world around you. This isn't mystical thinking, it's quantum physics. At the smallest level of reality, everything is energy and information. Your thoughts carry a specific frequency, just like radio waves or light waves. And these frequencies interact with the quantum field that surrounds us all. When you understand this principle, you begin to see why your mental state has such a powerful effect on your physical reality. Every thought you think sends ripples through the quantum field, like dropping a pebble in a pond. This isn't philosophy, it's based on the observer effect in quantum physics, which shows that the mere act of observing something changes its behavior at the subatomic level. Your brain processes these energy patterns through what scientists call coherence. When your thoughts are scattered and chaotic, when you're stressed or fearful, your brain waves are irregular and disorganized. But when you focus your attention, when you cultivate clear, focused thoughts combined with elevated emotions, your brain waves become synchronized. This coherence creates a powerful electromagnetic field that extends beyond your physical body. Let me share something remarkable from my research. When you maintain a state of coherent thought and emotion for just 2 minutes, you can change the very chemistry of your body. Your heart's electromagnetic field becomes more organized, your immune system strengthens, and your body starts producing higher levels of feel-good chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. This isn't happening by chance. It's a direct result of the energy of your thoughts affecting your physical biology. Think about this. Every cell in your body is listening to your thoughts. When you maintain thoughts of stress and limitation, you're literally instructing your genes to express in ways that reinforce those limitations. But when you consciously generate thoughts of possibility and potential, when you combine these thoughts with elevated emotions like gratitude and joy, you're signaling your genes to express in new ways that support health, vitality, and transformation. This is why practicing heightened states of consciousness isn't just about feeling good, it's about changing your energy field in ways that affect your physical reality. When you understand that your thoughts are energy and energy is the building block of all physical matter, you begin to see why maintaining elevated mental states is so crucial for creating lasting change in your life. Your brain is the most sophisticated pattern recognition device ever created. It's constantly scanning your environment, looking for familiar signals that match your past experiences. This is why you can drive home without consciously thinking about the route. Your brain has recognized and stored that pattern. But this same incredible ability can keep you trapped in cycles of unwanted behavior and emotional reactions. Let me explain something fascinating about your nervous system. It's designed to keep you safe by maintaining the familiar. Anytime you try to do something different, something that breaks your normal patterns, your brain sends out warning signals. That uncomfortable feeling you get when you step outside your comfort zone, that's your brain trying to protect you by keeping you in known territory. It's interpreting uncertainty as danger. This is why most people stay stuck in the same patterns year after year. Their brain has become hardwired to their past experiences, creating what neuroscientists call a default mode network. This network is like your brain's autopilot. It keeps running the same programs of thought, emotion, and behavior that you've practiced the most. The longer you've been running these programs, the more efficient your brain becomes at maintaining them. I think it's great to say it's hard workout. It is universally. That's why the neuroscientists say that almost every physical condition that your body heals currently has already been done and will never return to normal functioning. But here's the key to breaking free: pattern interruption. When you consciously break a familiar pattern, you literally shock your nervous system out of autopilot. This creates a brief window of opportunity where new neural connections can form. It's like temporarily disrupting your brain's autopilot so you can install new programming. Let me give you a practical example. If you always check your phone first thing in the morning, and this triggers a cascade of stress chemicals in your body, try putting your phone in another room. This simple pattern interruption forces your brain to create new neural pathways. Instead of running the familiar program of stress and reactivity, you're creating space for a new response. The science shows us that it takes about 60 to 90 seconds for an emotional pattern to run its course in your body. This means you have a choice point in every emotional reaction. If you can interrupt the pattern for just 90 seconds, you prevent your brain from strengthening that neural pathway. Instead of reinforcing the old pattern, you're creating an opportunity for new neural connections to form. Think of it like this. Every time you interrupt a pattern, you're like a surfer changing direction on a wave. Instead of letting the momentum of your past carry you in the same direction, you're using that energy to move in a new direction. This is how real transformation happens, not by fighting against old patterns, but by redirecting their energy into new pathways. And that's how conscience and consciousness get linked up. The inner attunement, the conscious attunement gets linked up. So when you shift and change your patterns, you shift the conscious and consciousness get linked up. This is when you get most clarity. Every single cell in your body is affected by your thoughts. Right now, as you're listening, your cells are responding to the chemical messages created by your mental state. This isn't metaphysical, it's pure biology. Your thoughts trigger the release of specific chemicals in your brain, and these chemicals signal your genes to produce proteins that change how your cells function. Let me share something revolutionary about your genes. They aren't your destiny. For years, scientists believed that your genetic code was like a fixed blueprint that determined everything about you. Now we know that's not true. Through the science of epigenetics, we've discovered that your genes are more like switches that can be turned on or off by your environment. And your thoughts and emotions are part of that environment. Think about this. Every time you have a thought, you make a chemical. If you have a fearful thought, your brain releases stress chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals signal your genes to express in ways that prepare your body for danger. Your heart rate increases, your immune system suppresses, and your body shifts into survival mode. All from a single thought. But here's where it gets even more interesting. When you maintain these stress chemicals in your body for extended periods, your cells actually become addicted to them. They modify their receptors to better receive these chemicals. This is why people who live in constant stress often feel uncomfortable when they try to relax. Their cells are literally craving the stress chemicals they're used to receiving. The good news is that this same biological mechanism works in reverse. When you generate thoughts of possibility, gratitude, and joy, your brain produces different chemicals: serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. These chemicals signal your genes to express in ways that support health, growth, and repair. Your immune system strengthens, your body produces anti-aging hormones, and your cells literally begin to regenerate. This is the biology of change in action. Every time you choose a new thought, you're not just changing your mind, you're changing your body at the cellular level. Your cells are constantly replacing themselves. You get a new stomach lining every week, new skin every month, new liver every 6 weeks. The question is, are you signaling these new cells with the same old information, or are you giving them new signals based on new thoughts and emotions? Understanding this biology gives you incredible power. It means you're not stuck with your current state of health, energy, or vitality. By consciously choosing your thoughts and maintaining elevated emotional states, you can literally instruct your genes to express in new ways. You become the master of your own biology. Now, let's turn this knowledge into action. Your brain is most receptive to creating new neural networks in the early morning hours, right after you wake up. This is because your brain is still in theta wave patterns, the same state that children are in when they're rapidly learning and forming new connections. This is your window of opportunity for transformation. Start your day by breaking the automatic sequence. Instead of reaching for your phone or jumping into your usual routine, take 20 minutes for yourself. Sit up straight, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing. This simple act begins to reduce the stress chemicals in your body and activates your frontal lobe, the part of your brain responsible for change. Here's the formula I've seen work time and time again. First, you clear the mental slate. Focus on your breath until your mind becomes quiet. This deactivates the circuits connected to your old personality. Then you introduce the new program, the new thoughts and emotions you want to install. But here's the crucial part most people miss. You must combine clear intention with elevated emotion, right? And again, none of this is meaning you're just going to tune out your mind and expect it to dominate, right? It's just subverting pre-programmed emotion. Let me explain why this combination is so powerful. Your clear intention, the specific thoughts and images of what you want to create, activates specific neural circuits in your brain. But it's the elevated emotion, the feeling of already having what you desire, that signals your genes to express in new ways. This combination of thought and feeling literally begins to rewrite your neural code. Create a mental rehearsal of your new desired state. See yourself acting, thinking, and feeling the way you want to be. But don't just visualize it. Feel it with every cell in your body. If you want more confidence, practice feeling confident right now. If you want more peace, generate that feeling in this moment. Remember, your body doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one that's vividly imagined. Do this practice every single day, preferably at the same time. Consistency is crucial because you're building new neural pathways. Think of it like working out. One session at the gym won't transform your body, but consistent training creates lasting change. The same principle applies to mental rehearsal. Throughout your day, look for opportunities to reinforce these new patterns. When you catch yourself falling into old habits, use that awareness as a trigger to practice your new response. Every time you choose a new response over an automatic reaction, you're strengthening these new neural pathways. You're literally rewiring your brain through conscious choice. Everything I've shared with you today points to one fundamental truth. You are more powerful than you've been conditioned to believe. The science shows us that transformation isn't just possible, It's your brain's natural state. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel is literally reshaping your brain's neural architecture and changing your body's cellular. Think about what you've learned. Your thoughts create chemical reactions that affect every cell in your body. Your brain doesn't know the difference between an actual experience and one that's vividly imagined. The present moment is where all potential futures exist. You can access elevated emotional states without waiting for external circumstances to change. These aren't just ideas, they're biological principles that you can apply right now to create lasting change. But here's what separates those who transform their lives from those who stay stuck. Consistent application. Knowledge without action is simply information. You've got to take these principles and turn them into a daily practice. Start tomorrow morning. No, start right now. The moment you finish hearing these words, close your eyes and begin installing new thought patterns. Don't wait for the perfect time, because your brain will always find reasons to stay in the familiar. Remember, every time you break an old pattern, every time you choose a new response over an automatic reaction, you're literally reshaping your brain. Each time you combine clear intention with elevated emotion, you're signaling your genes to express in new ways. Every moment you spend in mental rehearsal is a moment spent programming new neural networks. Your past is not your future unless you choose to live by the same thoughts, feelings, and actions that created your past. Right now, in this moment, you can begin to write a new story. Your brain is waiting for new instructions. Your genes are waiting for new signals. Your future is waiting for you to step into it. Don't let this be just another piece of information that you hear and forget. Take what you've learned about neuroplasticity, quantum physics, and epigenetics and put it into practice. Start your day with mental rehearsal. Break your automatic patterns. Generate elevated emotions regardless of external circumstances. Be a conscious observer of your old programs so you can change them. The truth that took me 30 years to understand is available to you right now. Your power to change isn't in some distant future, it's in this present moment. Your brain is designed to evolve. Your body is designed to heal. Your consciousness is designed to expand. The only question is, will you use this power consciously, or will you let your automatic programs continue to run your life? The choice is yours, and the time is now. Step into the quantum field of infinite possibilities. Become the creator of your new future. Your new life is one thought away. Make it a thought worthy of the future you desire to create. The most profound truth I've discovered in 3 decades of research isn't in complex neuroscience equations or quantum mechanics formulas. It's in the power of this present moment. Right now, as you're hearing these words, your brain is physically changing. Every thought you think is firing and wiring new neural connections. Every emotion you feel is signaling your genes to express in new ways. The old patterns that have shaped your reality, the endless seeking, the constant proving, the relentless achieving, they're not your destiny unless you continue to energize them with your attention. Your cells are listening to every thought. Your genes are responding to every emotion. Your brain is rewiring itself based on where you place your consciousness. This isn't just philosophy. It's biology in action. Every time you choose a new thought, you're literally changing the structure of your brain. Every time you generate an elevated emotion, you're changing the chemistry of your body. Look at your life right now. Really look at it. The circumstances you're experiencing, the emotions you're feeling, the limitations you're accepting, they're all the result of programs you've been running on autopilot. But here's the liberating truth. You don't have to wait for anything to change. You don't need another seminar, another book, another achievement. You have everything you need in this present moment to begin rewriting your neural code. Your brain is designed for transformation. Your body is engineered for renewal. Your consciousness is ready for expansion. The quantum field of infinite possibilities exists right now, and you access it through your consciousness. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about letting go of who you've been programmed to be. The power to transform isn't hidden in some future achievement or external change. It's encoded in the choices you make right now. Will you continue running the same neural programs that have created your past? Or will you step into the unknown, into the field of infinite possibilities where true transformation occurs? The time to choose isn't tomorrow, it's now. And remember, as you leave here today, everything you've learned isn't just information. It's an invitation to begin living differently right now. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. Will you run the same old programs, or will you consciously create your new reality? The answers you seek, the change you desire, the transformation you've been waiting for, it all starts with your next thought. Thank you for being part of this journey. Take these principles, apply them in your life, and watch as your reality begins to transform. I'll see you in the next video where we'll continue exploring the unlimited potential within you. And until then, remember, you're one thought away from a completely new life. Make each thought count.